remember last year, one of the biggest questions when it came to Caitlin Clark was her durability and if she'd be able to sustain and not get injured because of the nonstop, oh, it's a physical league stuff nonsense that the WNBA pushes and so forth. Remember, they said that over and over and over again. Can Caitlin Clark withstand the physicality of the WNBA? Can she do it? Can she do it? Can she do it? Well, Caitlin Clark managed last year to not miss a game last year, despite having her eardrum blown during a game because of a shot that she received during a game as they were trying to take her out during the season a lot of times. Paige Bueckers comes into the league this year, and one of the biggest questions about Paige Bueckers, realistically, just based on her history of injuries, is at UConn is durability. Will she be able to sustain? Many people who are fans of hers, who are anti Caitlin Clark people, will sit here and tell you, "Oh, Paige is stronger, she's bigger, all that extra stuff." But folks, those same people forgot that Paige Bueckers was injured so many damn times while she was at UConn. Always injured, always injured, always injured. And if you're going to question durability, why aren't you questioning Paige Bueckers' durability? Now, Paige Bueckers this season so far was having a very good year. I give her credit. 14.7 points per game, 6.7 assists, far more than I could have ever expected because she didn't actually play point guard at UConn. The 6.7 assists realistically surprised me because she didn't play point guard at UConn, and 4.5 rebounds. Field goal percentage, as expected, it has dropped. It's not in that low 50s. It's 43.3, 43.7%, 33.3 from three. So all that 50, 40, 90 stuff, toss it out, please. I don't want to hear about that shit anymore. But Paige Bueckers was playing well, despite the fact that Dallas started the season off 1-4. Their only win coming against Connecticut, at Connecticut by 22 points, where she had a great game, 21 points, 7 assists, 5 boards, shot 80% from the field. She's also had a 12-10 game, 19-8, 15-8, 20. And her, she's had a couple of not great shooting performances where she was 4 of 15 and 3 of 11. But again, she's having a good year until Chicago. She had 15 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds in a 97-92 loss, for which she played 36 minutes and was 6-11 from the field. But Paige Bueckers is now injured, and we'll talk about that. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We talk facts over feelings. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Thank you for your continued support of the channel. Remember, tomorrow night we're going to go live, Sunday Night Heat. It'll either be at 8 or 9 p.m. I'll know as we go later in the day, but please do join us, myself and Ben Daniel. Appreciate y'all continued support of that show as it continues to grow. We are going to be here every week. Like we said, doesn't matter. Caitlin Clark plays, she doesn't play. We will be here to talk about it. Talk about the week of basketball. But Paige Bueckers getting hurt. Can't say I'm surprised. History of injuries. History of injuries. And now she's in concussion protocol. So she will miss tonight's game, which starts actually in about 10 minutes. I want to do this video a little earlier, but I got caught up doing some stuff and wasn't able to do it. They have a rematch tonight against Chicago in Dallas. And she's injured. She is out for at least 2 games in concussion protocol. Concussion protocol is one of those slippery slope things, man. You never know how long it will be, what it will be, how it will be. If you're into other sports besides women's basketball, you've had now 2 players in concussion protocol in the WNBA this year. At least 2 that I'm aware of. Rakea Jackson was one, and now you have Paige Bueckers, another one. Anthony Rizzo for the New York Yankees had a concussion issue a couple years ago. I think maybe it was last year. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before that, but he missed like a third of the season. He missed a lot of games in baseball because his head banged into the first baseman's head when he was running. I guess if I recall correctly, he was running or he was the first baseman. Either way, there was a collision, and next thing you know, Anthony Rizzo can't play baseball for, I think it was 2 years ago. Can't play baseball for months. And so you don't know. Obviously concussions happen in football all the time. Players play through them constantly. They have that protocol stuff, but the reality is players play through concussions in football all the time. They are able to fake it a lot of times. unless you get knocked out the way Tua Tagovailoa has been knocked out for the Dolphins, where he's frozen on the field. Generally speaking, a lot of times, I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of times guys are playing through them. It's one of those things. It's part of the sport. Unfortunately, that's just part of football. You don't typically see them in basketball. So when you have a player in concussion protocol, it's concerning. It's concerning because you don't know how long this will linger, how long the headaches will continue, how long the issue with lights will exist, because that's a major part of concussions. I know you have issues with glare, with headaches, dizziness. There's all kinds of symptoms, nausea that come with concussions. Now, Dallas is 1-5, not starting off the season great. They have Chicago tonight, and they have Seattle on Tuesday. So she's going to be out at least until Tuesday. Their next game is until Friday. So that's the benefit of the WNBA schedule, that they only have 2 games in a week. But she's going to miss 2 games nonetheless. She's going to miss 2 games nonetheless, and it's going to hurt her team. And at the end of the day, this is just another continuation of Paige Bueckers' lack of durability, because she gets hurt. She's going to continue to get hurt. And while this may be a freak type of situation, it's not really. This apparently happened during, from what it says here on an article I'm reading on Forbes, Bueckers may have suffered the concussion on contact with Courtney Vandersloot. It wasn't clear at the time that Bueckers and Vandersloot had actually bumped heads forcibly enough to concuss Bueckers. The former UConn star point guard had grabbed an offensive rebound before driving to the basket, with Vandersloot guarding her. During the drive is when the noggin upon noggin contact may have occurred. A clue was when the Wings point guard stayed grounded with her hands covering her face for a short moment after Vandersloot had been called for a foul. Bueckers did get up shortly and stay on the court for much of the rest of the game. So perhaps no one knew how hard her head had been hit. Bueckers ended up playing 36 minutes in the game against the Sky, totaling 15 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. It's a heck of a game. It turned out that the Sky was the limit for the Wings, at least for that night, as the Holden Town Sky was victorious 97-92. This is a concern, man. You've got to have concerns about this. She's 5th in the league right now in assists. She's playing well. And you've got to, what's going to happen with Paige Bueckers? You don't know, man. You don't know how long this can linger. I hope for her sake it doesn't. But I've seen baseball players, I've seen football players in concussion situations where they're out for weeks. Out for weeks. And they have no idea how it really happened. That's the only indication of when it could have possibly happened, was in this play with Courtney Vandersloot. So this is what her coach said. Chris Coclains addressed this when speaking with the media today. She didn't really say anything. And then yesterday, after the game, she said she was feeling like she had a headache. And then she said a couple things about, I was hit this time, that time. And so that was the first of it. So once that was said, they went right to the doctor and placed her in concussion protocol. That seems a bit much to me, because she has a headache. I don't know. It doesn't necessarily shed a ton of light on the root or severity of her headache. But the bottom line is that the organization clearly took the utmost caution in electing to sit Bueckers for the next 2 games. I don't know, man. Y'all do think of, y'all can come to y'all own conclusions on this situation. But if you're sitting here telling me that you sat her because she had a headache, why don't you just give her some Tylenol first? See if some Tylenol works, or some Advil or Aleve or something. I had a headache 2 days ago. I didn't have a concussion. A little bit weird, but if she does have a concussion from that particular situation, like, they put her in protocol. Have you diagnosed her with a concussion is the question. I don't know. They're not saying this here. Protocol doesn't mean you diagnosed her with shit, but maybe it does, because they're not saying that she's been diagnosed with a concussion. Very vague, but we already have a situation where Paige Bueckers, 6 games into her WNBA career, is going to miss the next 2. Hopefully she comes back, but this was always a concern when it came to Paige Bueckers. Her durability has always been in question. Yet for some reason, people who question Caitlin Clark's durability did never question Paige Bueckers' durability. You know the only people who questioned Paige Bueckers' durability was Caitlin Clark fans. But nonetheless, let's see what happens. I hope she gets better. But they're not very good with her. They're not very good without her. They're playing at home tonight. We'll see what's up. Y'all leave y'all thoughts in the comments. What do you think of this situation? Do you think that she has a concussion? Do you think that they're playing it safe? Does this go to show you that she's not durable and this is just a continuation of the ailments that a lot of us presume that Paige Bueckers will deal with for a lot of her career, or what? But she is having a really good year so far. So this is a damaging situation for her season, and for her team. Let me know y'all thoughts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. This is Rudy's Rant, Her Game, Her Way, Women's Basketball. Come on now.